Wow. So yesterday we heard, and in fact, we mentioned it on the program, that the first Ebola case to actually be diagnosed inside the United States happened. There was a fellow on a plane from one of the West African countries, Liberia, Sierra Leone, one of Guinea, one of them, who was not sick when he got on the plane, was not sick when he got off the plane. They've got scanners now that are looking for people with temperatures. But he went to, what was it, Dallas or Houston? Dallas, I think it was, and got sick. And now he's in a hospital, and he's in critical condition, and they're trying to figure out what to do with him. So you would think, that this would be a time for us to have a conversation about public health or Ebola or, hey, isn't it great that here in the United States we have a fairly sophisticated public health infrastructure? We can track who were the people who had contact with this guy. Everybody gets it. There's good communication. Let's not get hysterical here. But on the right, not so much. The right wing. Case in point, Michael Weiner. Michael Weiner is one of the most well-known right-wing talk show hosts. He performs under the name Michael Savage. And, Michael Weiner has been going off for years on strange things like, we've got to kill all the Muslims and it's a filthy religion and, et cetera, et cetera. And what this demonstrates is that the hard right really doesn't have anything to sell except fear and hatred. And if they can sell fear and hatred enough, then, they can turn people against a sitting president, for example, which some in history would have called treasonous or at least seditious. They can turn people against, for example, clip number one here. Here's Michael Weiner, a.k.a. Michael Savage, on his program yesterday.
That means because Obama broke down our borders and has eliminated any testing or screening of illegal aliens, whether they be coming from Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, or now from Africa. Because of this open-door policy, the CDC has confirmed the first Ebola case in the United States. This is heartbreaking. It's an act of treason. The treason was committed by your government.
So, okay, we have this public health crisis going on in Africa, home of black people. You've got young people fleeing death squads in the Middle East, in Central America, who were put there by, in large part, the Reagan administration. But they're brown people. And it's treason. It's treason that they be allowed to come into the United States, right? And the CDC, oh my God, if it's a government agency, we can't trust government agencies, right? Clip two.
Those responsible, in my opinion, are the Centers for Disease Dissemination. The very same cretinous political appointees who are going to tell you not to worry are the ones who should be tried for a crime against humanity.
And in fact, he goes off on this. I mean, it's that this guy's the head of the CDC is a political hack, and all this kind of stuff. And it seems to me, and I don't know Michael Weiner personally. I listened to his program for years. I think he's a brilliant broadcaster. Although I strongly disagree with his worldview and perspectives. But here he's going off on this, what about the civil rights of the healthy? I don't think anybody's talking about civil rights here in either direction. It's about public health. But anyhow, here's clip three, his rant on this.
Yes, it is transmitted casually through the air. Never mind what the hacks in the government media complex tell you. Don't you listen to a word this liar says. He should be arrested for a crime against humanity. He's going to be speaking in 18, 20 minutes, and he's about as useful as the head of the Secret Service. Another empty suit put in there for political purposes. Put in there a long time ago to make sure that the dirty Q word was never, ever used, quarantine. Oh, don't quarantine someone with a plague. It might violate their civil rights. And what have I asked for the last 30 years? Don't the people who are healthy have civil rights as well?
Well, the guy's in a quarantine unit in a hospital, but I think the biggest point, and this is the keep in mind, Ronald Reagan's first speech when he was running for president of the United States, his first official speech as a candidate was in Philadelphia, Mississippi, the place where 3 civil rights workers were famously murdered, and he gave a speech on states' rights. It's all about the color of people's skin. And here again, Michael Weiner, performing as Michael Savage, talking about Detroit and South Africa. Gee, you think there's something in common between them? Here he is. This is clip number 6. I'm sorry.
And they are responsible for this. Just as they are responsible for bringing infected children in from Central America and doing nothing to stop it, they are now responsible for permitting Ebola to arrive on our shores. The wonders of nature that permitted this nation to be almost miraculously isolated from third world diseases is now over. We're devolving from a first world nation almost into a second world nation right in front of our eyes. What happened in South Africa will soon be happening throughout America. Study South Africa and see what happens with the wonders of diversity. Take a look at cities and towns that were once thriving, clean, safe, efficient. They look like wreckages, like war zones. Sort of like Detroit, inner cities here in America. Who are you going to blame it on now that Ebola has come to Dallas? Me?
Yeah, South Africa really should go back to apartheid, and Detroit really should go back before Brown versus Board, right? When after that decision, Daddy Koch, Fred Koch, and the John Birch Society, they had posters all over the country in the mid-'50s, early '60s. Impeach Earl Warren. How dare he say we've got to desegregate the schools? And of course, Michael Weiner performing as Michael Savage. This is the liberal thing to do. This is clip 8. Bring in diseased people and send money. Well, here, I'll let him say it. He says it so well.
What a liberal thing to do is bring diseased people in. That's very liberal. That's very humanizing. In fact, there's no reason that we in this lily white nation of ours, the parts that have any right to have a better health than those in the third world. Because if you want real equality, you have to spread disease around. Just as you have to spread poverty around, the Obama way is to spread disease around. That way you'll all get down with the third world people and know what it's like to be sick and homeless and begging. You understand that? You understand how this works? Only when America is reduced to ashes will we be equal to some of the third world nations that Obama is apparently using as a role model to turn this country into this third world nation that he envisions for us.
So let me get this straight. South Africa worked better under apartheid. Detroit worked better under something. Frankly, I remember Detroit working better before Reaganomics, but that's, a whole other thing. And President Obama is bringing diseases from countries filled with black and brown people to a lily white nation, the United States, to try to reduce us to their degenerate level, right? Do you get the message? Do you get how there's a huge component here of don't look at what the Koch brothers are pushing, tax cuts for rich people, corporations moving their money overseas, an economy that's about to crash again because now we're prompting it up with subprime auto loans, another giant crash coming. Don't look at Paul Ryan trying to cut Social Security and Republicans trying to cut Medicare. Don't look at the fact that 550 jobs were dumped out of the Secret Service because of Republican sequestration. Don't look at any of that. Look at those brown people who are sick.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
And even if they're not sick, oh my God, I'm going to tell you they're sick. After all, they're brown people from a third world country. We'll do that.